I am live. Okay. Hi, this is Sibyl Harmony, and we're doing a video today to support the protesters and answer political questions. I totally want to support them. We're just waiting for people to come on, and we're going to look at the shootings in Minnesota. So, all right. Welcome to my channel if you're new. And I'm going to be doing members at 12 o'clock today. If you're on a desktop or a laptop, you can click join members and get on that channel. Let me shift my pillow here because I feel like I'm sitting a little bit in a hole. That's a little bit better. So where's my microphone? Okay, let me see if you can hear me. I don't have a professional filming crew. It's just me here. And so I'm just doing it all myself. All right. So God bless you. Somebody's here. Okay. So let's look at those shootings in Minnesota and how the protesters are going to do. I am working, taking care of kids and pets today. So I won't be out for the protests, but I totally support them. And I remember when I work with mothers of parents a lot, they're sitting there. Hi, Jason. Hi, Marie. Hi, Cameron. Delight. Good to see you. Yeah, we're going to be on the members today too. But so when I work with parents a lot, and I used to do this too, I remember calling my mother-in-law once and telling her something about her son. I'm worried about him. And she said, I'm on the job, I'm worrying. And so when you sit and think about somebody and worry about them, like worrying if your kids are going to get home safe, or how's the test going to go, or how's their job doing, or whatever. When you're sitting and worrying about somebody, you're actually sending them negative energy, which is exactly what you don't want to do. So we don't want to sit here, and if we're not out in the protests, we'll talk about if you are going to go out, or if planning on going out, that's okay too. But we don't want to sit here and send them worry. We want to send them light and angels and support, and see many angels coming in. We'll do the prayer a little bit more formally when we'll see if anybody else joins us. If not, I like small little groups. They're fine because it isn't about, everybody, each person is so important, and I'm grateful that you're here. And you can help me with the prayers, with your intentions. We can even do that now, just sending love and light, see things going well, see people being safe, see the message being put out that, we don't want a king. It's no King's Day protests. And it looks like the military parade that the current, what would we call him? Taco? I've been calling him Taco lately. I used to call him 45 F-45 with felon. He's a felon in the White House. Okay. So is he my eye makeup is a little unbalanced. Okay. So it makes me look a little okay. Sorry. All right. So I think his parade might have been canceled, but I know it was for later tonight because of rainstorms. Hi, Joe. Hi, Tara. Welcome. Well, I'm going to be answering your political questions, but we're going to be sending prayers, not worry and fear to protesters or to situations, or we can send prayers for immigrants, or prayers for people who are afraid, prayers for people who are in war areas. So we can talk about all that. I'll answer questions. But while we're here, let's just look at, I'm looking at this shooting. If you haven't heard, this morning there were two Democrats killed and one injured. I believe they were a state senator and his wife, who was also a Democrat in office in Minnesota, and in Tim Walz's country and state, sorry, in his area. And so it looks like some type of militia to me. that obviously this was planned out because the shooter had a police car. Sorry if you don't want to hear about negative stuff. So what we want to do is just, a lot of times people join my channel for healing, and they're usually very empathic or spiritual and open-hearted. And so I do that more on my members channel, which you can join, where we're not going to be talking about politics. We're just going to be healing ourselves, and we'll do a little healing or meditation here. So I don't want to be talking about things to scare people, but we also need to look and see, what's going on. Just hiding our head in the sand in a hole or climbing in the closet doesn't really work either. So it's important to be informed, but maybe not watch it all the time. And if you're getting stressed out about the things that are going on, find ways to really take care of yourself, maybe turn it off for a while. Yeah, prayers for Minnesota. One of their No King's Day, I just heard, parades was canceled. But I do feel like this is political. It's some type of militia, and I see the guy who did it. And so either he was a police officer, he's somehow connected with the police. This is very well planned. I feel like, let's ask, because I feel like he has comrades, like there's a group. So he left the scene of the shooting on foot, and I feel like he dumped the weapon. It looks like either in the back of a truck or a dumpster, because I can see a metal, like would look like a side of a truck, or it could be a metal dumpster. So it looks like he dropped the weapon, and he is on, there's a manhunt going on right now. Yeah, it's very sad. Okay, so what we want to do is step back and realize that and kind of look at the bigger picture. It's kind of hard when, and not, well, it's kind of hard when it's emergency, but we don't want to get into emergency threat energy, because right away I can feel when I start talking about this, I start to almost vibrate a little bit when I tune into his energy. The shooter is very confused and fearful and angry, obviously. And we want to kind of like step back from that and let this stuff happen outside of our energy field, and not just be like ungrounded, like a sponge, soaking all this stuff up. And it's normal to have feelings of sadness or anger or fear. So that's all normal and healthy. But just be, like a little bit of an observer in the way that you are dealing with your feelings. Just notice, like, wow, I'm feeling, don't just like unconsciously absorb everything up and just be like, I'm a wreck. Okay, which is what I used to do until I learned like how to identify my feelings, and then understand that they have an energy and a frequency, and they don't need to be inside my aura, which the main aura is about 2 or 3 feet around you in every direction. Or if they are, let the feelings or the frequency move through me. Just by one way is by recognizing the feeling, breathing with it, and letting yourself feel it and experience it, because we're here to feel and experience everything in life on this earth. But we don't have to be attached to it. And we might notice how this is triggering some type of fear within us. So it's like being aware and observing our feelings, allowing our feelings, breathing through our feelings. And then each case is different. It may be really triggering for you, triggering some past karma, karma, or past something even from your childhood, or so just, sorry, something just went on the screen and distracted me. Like I need, I'm easily distracted. Okay. So what we want to do is just pay attention to our feelings, observe our feelings, breathe through our feelings, and then ask ourselves or ask our guides, what do I do with this? If you can't like move through it, and let it go, or just accept it. And then a lot of times that will start to, when you accept your feelings, they'll start to lessen, or then you can kind of move on from them. But um, you can also take a proactive action, like do prayers or breath work, or do a healing, or burn some, like I have some Palo Santo, which is an incense wood here. I'm going to burn some from South America, and it helps to clear negative energy, and it's protective. So you can wear crystals, you can take a bath or a shower, or even put salt in a bath or a shower. Okay, so here's that smoke that's protective. So I have, where's my black tourmaline? I have a little black tourmaline that's a protective stone. You can use essential oils to relax yourself. Take some kava kava, or um, an herbal remedy, L-tyrosine, no, L-tryptophan. So there are a lot of things that you can do like that. I think lemon balm, things that are calming for you. Burn sage, go for a walk and breathe, and put your mind at something else. So whether you're just allowing and accepting and breathing through it and letting yourself feel it, or you're doing a proactive step like, I think I've done this enough. So I remember when I was in therapy years ago, I used to come in and cry every week, and she let me do that. And then at one point she said, we're going to introduce something different. I'm not going to let you go there. So when is the point when you feel like you're getting too deep in your feelings, too depressed, too angry, too fearful, when you go like to your inner child, I'm going to pull you out of this. I'm not going to let you go there. So are you being the nurturing mother who's allowing and just holding you and comforting you while you have a feeling? Or are you being the protective father that says, you're about done with all this and you need to pull out of it? Okay? So they're neither one is right or wrong. It's just your own particular instance of, circumstance, or you and how you're dealing with it. Every situation, of course, is unique to you, your feelings and your past, and how you feel to deal with it. But I'm just talking about some tools that you may already know about. Maybe I'm just reminding you, but also I've noticed that the supporters of the current person in the White House are either abusers, people who are abusive, and there is redemption. Maybe you were an abuser in a past life, but in the current life, or from a past life, you can heal yourself. You can decide, I don't want to do that anymore. I used to have a teacher who was wonderful, a psychic that I used to work with, who said that he, in this life, and earlier in this life, he believed in what the Nazis were doing, and then he spent the rest of his life, the second half of his life, trying to heal what he had done and trying to help people. So there is a possibility that people can change. So some of them are abusers, but a lot of them are people who have been abused and have not done their work. So they're symbiotically still connected to this old system of abuse, the abusive father, the 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 narcissistic parent. So they're in a unhealthy relationship with that, and they haven't done their work, and so they naturally gravitate to him because it's familiar. You see, because they still believe the lies or the misinformation. So it's very interesting. And a lot of the people who are more democratic or more empathic are people who have done their work, or people who haven't done their work but recognize that it's upsetting them or it's hurting them, and it's like mimicking their childhood. Either way, whether you've done your work, you're stronger in a better position, or you haven't done your work to heal from your family of origin, or even from past lives. Whether you've done it or not, if you've done your work, you're in a better much better, stronger position to deal with this. If you haven't, it may feel like it's just you're being, re-traumatized again. Either way, it may feel like you're being re-traumatized. But if you recognize that you're being re-traumatized from this or from a past life where you've had a cruel leader or you've been in a war situation or something in a past life, then you are, by recognizing that and doing the healing work, you're able to let that go and you're not as affected by it, rather than just being somebody who is just wounded and they're just being re-wounded and they've been wounded in a past life and they're just like unable to deal with it. So I also feel like a lot of the Trump supporters from past lives are they know, even the ones that have broken away, because they know, especially the ones who have been with him and then they've broken away, because they know who he is, because they've been in these types of relationships and situations before. They know what he's doing. They've been there because they've been with him or they've been with somebody like that in a past life. And so very interesting dynamic here of what's going on. And this is why you're waking up and healing yourself is paramount to what's going on. Everybody thinks it's like, well, it is who you vote for and who has the money and who, what other laws are. Yeah, we need to pay attention to the 3D because we live in a 3D physical world and we need to address things in a practical 3D dimensional way by paying attention, voting, helping to pass laws, protesting. We need to do all these things. But how we got here is not so much from the outside things, it's from who we are as people, how we have developed and grown. And that's why they don't want you woke, because the more of you that have awakened, you're not programmed, you're not being controlled, you understand more of what the truth is, then you're less likely to be controlled by them. And that's how we come out of this. And that's what my work in this life is helping people to wake up. Okay, long discussion. I hope that makes sense. I asked my guides this morning, how could I see my gifts for today's protest? I heard praying for all the police and the military to be supportive in love by their higher selves and remain yes, so let's do that. Thank you, W. Fletcher. Thank you for reminding me that we need to pray for the police and or military as well, so that their hearts are opened and they can become kind. I've often thought of this, but I haven't gotten a group together to do it yet, because it would be quite a thing to pray to have Republicans' hearts opened, because when their hearts are closed, they're dangerous. They haven't done their work. They can do anything to anybody and they don't feel it. And I've done this, I've done it before, and it's a very difficult thing to do karmically, to open people's hearts. I mean, it even could be dangerous. They could even, they might flip out or something. So, but I think that would be a really cool group. I'm going to think about this more. I don't know that we're prepared to do this now, because if people were going to do this with me, I would want them to be prayed up and meditated up and ready. And we might, the more people we have, we can just do it now and send love to their hearts, because we're going to be doing it through prayer. Okay. So this is Mojo. Yeah. You thought of this before. This really makes sense to me. Yeah. Yeah. Are you talking Yes, I am taking political questions. I want to look at, thank you for bringing me back to the 3D reality of it. Okay. All right. So I want to look at this shooter, and then I'm going to take political questions, and then we'll do prayers at the end. Okay. So I want to look at this guy. So I see him. He dumped the gun in a metal thing like the back of a truck or a dumpster. And I want to pull some cards, but what I'm seeing is that he has a group or people that he's connected with. This isn't somebody who just did this by himself. this was planned and it's some type of attack. And go ahead, Shirley, and post your question and we'll take it next, okay? But I first want to look at the shooter and who is this? I ordered some of those Miriam Greer political cards and they haven't come yet. So, but I have my regular tarot. And what I'm getting is a sense of, I see like there are other guys around him. I can't tell if they're, because if he's a nut job, he would have like these negative spirits around him. Yeah, very sad what happened. Yeah, okay, let's look. Does he have a group? Does he have a group? Huh. Let me do this again. I don't like the way I was distracted. Let me ask, is this shooter part of a militia group? Yes, and they have money. These people have some money. There was money and thought put behind this. Will there be, because he had a list, there was a manifesto. So let me ask, is he also kind of a lone nut job? Because I don't feel like it. Well, he's definitely a nut job. Okay, he's definitely a nut job. So there's a part of they're like loners. Sometimes when I look at somebody, I can't tell if I'm seeing entities around them or if these are live people around him, because I don't feel like he's alone. Let's look. Are these live? Yeah, I feel like there's other people involved. Are these people involved with the police department, like a part of their Minnesota Police Department that's gone rogue? No, I don't feel like they are. Somehow they got the car or fixed up a car that looked like a police car. So if you're in Minnesota, they say, and the police knock on the door, don't answer it because he's in uniform and he's on the loose. Because he said they usually come 2 at a time and call 911 and say, hey, the police are here before you open the door. Okay, so let's look at your question here. Hello, Sibyl. Thanks for your question. Is Taco going to have major retribution from Saudi Arabia and the UAE for involvement in Iran and Israel war? Is there serious stuff coming to Taco? Yeah. Well, I feel like he has really lost his mind. I don't feel like he can remember from, like who he's talking to or from day to day what's going on. And so that's really scary. But I also feel like, but whoever can offer him something or buy him off, that's who he's going to go with. So the question is, let's see, can I put your question up? I don't think I can. Huh. I don't know how to do that. Okay, well. Is he going to have major retribution from Saudi Arabia? No. No. I don't feel like that. I do feel that if he hadn't have ended the nuclear deal with Iran, this probably wouldn't have happened. And then he kind of pissed off the leader of Netanyahu. He pissed him off. So, I mean, I feel like in the future we will not be giving money to Israel. Sorry if you're supporting Israel. I'm not against the Israeli people, but I feel like Netanyahu is really him and the Iran are causing this, because what's happening here on our planet now is that we are being affected by the environment, disrespecting the earth, greed, and war and violence. So these leaders want war and violence. Most people do not want to be at war. They're either talked into it, they're fed this like fear, you have to be afraid, these people are going to kill you unless we kill them first. And so they're talked into going to war. So I feel like that's more like where I want to go with this, is that in the future, and this is like, in the future, we are not going to have wars like this. We are not going to have leaders in power that send us into war. So is there more? Yeah. I hope that answers your question. That and I don't really feel like this is a war. I feel like it's incidents. I feel like technically they've been battling each other for, you know, for I don't know how long, and that will kind of continue until things change and they are taken out of power. I feel like Netanyahu will be taken out of power. A lot of the head of Iran were killed. I don't know who all is the head there, so I don't know who to read on. Sorry, I'm not that knowledgeable about um, international topics, is maybe you would hope I would be. Sounds like you're pretty knowledgeable and you're really watching it. But I do feel like Netanyahu will be taken out of power. I don't know when, but let's pull some cards for him for this year, because once again, I don't feel like it's a war. I feel like it's an ongoing battle that has flared up and will continue to flare up until the leaders change and stop doing this. And once again, I feel like United States will stop funding Israel or funding him. So let's ask. Let's see Netanyahu for this year. Yeah, he looks bad. I feel like he's trying to stand up. This is making him feel like he's strong and trying to be like on top of everything and fighting, but really he's weak. He's not going to do well, and he's getting bad news. These are not good cards for him. Will he be taken out of power this year? Yes. Yeah. I don't feel like he will stay in power, and that will change the situation. What is that? Will Trump have paid alligators at various protests today? Paid agitators, sorry. Agitators today to cause deliberate upheaval. Yeah, I feel like they have been there. I feel that was happening during George Floyd. Um, you know how they're doing it. One way, you don't even have to be a psychic, because he's saying that the Democrats are paying people to be there and cause trouble. So that makes it like, oh, because whatever he's doing, he deflects and says that someone else is doing it. I don't feel like he particularly is paying off. Like, I don't feel like he's handing off money to people, go do this. But his minions, his people are in there, and they're happy to do that. And he's paying them, but I don't feel like it's directly, like he's not handing cash to people. I feel like indirectly he's set this up, like make this like a gangster would do. Make it happen. I don't, but he's not getting his hands dirty. But I do see him putting out cash. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't go directly to the agitator. It goes like, I'll donate, I'll give money over here, and then these people figure it out and get it done, and then send people out. Yeah. Yes, definitely he is paying, there are paid agitators. So when you are there, I want, if you go to a protest, or if people are watching this and they go to a protest later today or in the future, I want you to keep your spidey sense about you, be grounded, pay attention to how you're feeling. And if it feels like, your guides, ask your guides and angels to watch over you. If it feels like it's getting too tense or they've given you warning, it's time to walk away and leave, okay? So we don't want you getting hurt. We want you peacefully protesting, but we don't want, something's about to happen. We want you to walk away. You've already done your part by showing up peacefully. Another thing that I heard that they can do is that a crowd will gather, and then they will say to disperse, or they will threaten them or something. Or when the military or police show up, then you kind of just walk away, just like be cool, just disperse, and have a meeting place where you're all going to meet, like somewhere else. So that's one of the tactics. But let people know where you're going to be. Keep your phone with you. And I feel like for the most part, let's ask for the most part, will people be safe in the protests? Because there are going to be incidences. There's 2,000 or so protests. Of course, one in Minnesota just got shut down because of this recent shooting. But yeah, so okay, so let's ask, will most protesters be safe? Say your prayers. If you're going out there, say your prayers anyway, because you never know what's going to happen when you go anywhere. Really, I say my prayers before I put my feet on the floor, well, every morning, and then say thank you at night. So if you're going out there, say your prayers. Bring your crystals with you, or your cell phone. Let people know where you are, like I said, and pay attention, be tuned in, and watch what's going on, and bring your phone and film. If you see something going on wrong, film it. Film it, because that is where there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. If they act out, there's going to be lots of lawsuits about this, the way either the police or the military are acting, if they do something wrong. Oh, yeah. Samatara says, are J6ers? Yeah, that's what I was feeling like. People who are pardoned and people who are in militias going in and being agitators. I knew they were doing that up. I think it was was either Oregon or Washington during George Floyd, making things worse, starting fires and things like that. Now, you always might have a nut job somewhere. So, I mean, that could be. But yes, I feel like most of them are organized disruptors that are paid. And so if you see someone doing something at a protest, film them. Who is that person that shouldn't be doing that? And everyone else is acting right, but they're starting trouble. Move away from that person. Film them, but then move away from them. Okay? So be really careful in how you do that. Okay, so now I forgot, what was the question? Oh, will most protesters be safe? And what do we need to know about the protesters to tell the protesters? So Archangel Michael is the angel patron saint of military. So we can ask them to help the military and the police. And also ask him to watch over you. I call him in if I'm ever in a street where it's dark and I'm lost, or I have to walk down a dark alley, or I feel like something's wrong. I hear a noise at night in my house. I always call him. All right. Wow. Now, I didn't say protesters from today. Interesting. So at first, I'm feeling like these are reversed cards. This is treachery. I'm sorry, treachery, the moon, and bad messages. But then I feel like, okay, wow, these are really interesting cards. This is pretty intense. They are protected by the light, but then somebody could be killed. Wow. I just want people to be careful. Okay. Interesting. I mean, there's thousands of people obviously, but I mean like one person or a few people, something could happen either today or sometime soon, because this isn't the first protest. This stuff is going to go on as long as he's in there. Oh, now he's saying, well, uh, some farm workers should be able to work, and we shouldn't be deporting them. And also he has hotels, so he's like through hospitality in there. Oh yeah, let's protect hospitality workers. Yeah, because you want to run your hotel. Don't want it to cost him money. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this is not a president who thinks things out, who understands the issues. Like if you get rid of all the immigrants, who's going to pick the food and process the meat and clean your room and, all the, really you want to work out in the fields for in 100 degrees picking vegetables for minimum wage or less? I mean, it's just, okay. Mojo 169 in crypto. I don't know what that, are you talking to somebody? I don't know. Some of the questions I don't understand because maybe you're talking to each other. Was this group hired by Trump or other Republicans? Interesting question, Rita. Was the agitators hired by, well, I feel like indirectly by him, of like the money is given to like, let me donate to your cause, give money to your cause or something, and then not tell anybody. And because I feel like he's got money for this, he'll pass it out. But is it going to Republicans? No, I feel like it's going to other other people. Is it going to his cabinet? No, I feel like it's going to somebody else who's not a politician. Interesting. Okay. All right. So join my members today at 12. If you click on your desktop or your laptop, it won't work on your phone. Join members. And so I'll be doing healings and personal questions there. I also have some classes coming up, and they're on my website. The certification for Angel and Ascended Master Practitioner is on there. Learn how to heal, how to receive guidance, or also help others to do that. All right. So check those out. Those are on my website. And at Sibyl Harmony, SIBYL. I'll put the link on my my community page if you're interested in that. For the link from my website. Well, courts rule in Gavin's favor Tuesday, so he is in control of military in California. Well, I feel like it's going to go to the Supreme Court, but let's ask Tuesday. Will they rule in Gavin Newsom's favor on Tuesday? Wow. If they do, yes, but then something's coming up, and I feel like it'll go to the Supreme Court. I feel like it's not clear. These are not clear. So right now they put a stay on it. I feel like it does go Gavin Newsom's way Tuesday, but then it's going to the Supreme Court, which is going to kind of like, let's see, how will the Supreme Court, I feel like they don't really want to rule on this. They're going to push it down or put something out that's kind of somewhere in between or something. Let's see, how will the Supreme Court rule on whether Taco can control military in states? Huh. Yeah, this, what is that? Will the people be happy? Yeah, they're kind of mixed, coming in mixed. They're going to push it away, and then it looks like the people are, looks like we're happy that they're going to say you have to defer to the lower courts, or they're going to put out some kind of mixed message. But I don't feel like the Supreme Court is going to help him out here. They're going to do something creepy. They're going to do something creepy, but it's not going to be just giving it to him. Okay? Like he can do it in, and it's only for 30 days anyway. The law says it's only for 30 days. By the time it gets there, it might be already 3 weeks or something. So, I mean, sorry, but I feel like it'll be okay. Like we'll be happy. It'll be, because we have the 10 of Cups. So that's the people rejoicing, okay? And emotional balance. All right. Let's say prayers for the military, for the protesters, and I will be back on, I'll put a link on my community page if you want to ask more questions. Also, please help me out and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And all right, so let's go ahead and do the prayers. I'm calling on Creator, Source, Love and Light, the higher selves of all those we pray for. I'm calling on Yeshua, Magdalena, Kuan Yin, all beings of wisdom and light, the archangels Michael, Raphael. Please protect the protesters, hover over them, send hundreds of angels, thousands of angels to watch over the protests and keep people safe. I see many angels hovering over beings of light, watching over the protests. And also help come into the hearts of the military, the Republicans, and of this current president, and fill their heart chakra with light and compassion. Help them to make humane and just decisions and actions, protecting life, limb, and property, protecting the protesters, protecting our rights. Help Republicans that are mean-hearted and cruel to back down. Help their hearts to be filled with peace. Help them to have a change of heart. And help this current president to awaken to compassion, if that's possible, neutrality, or help him just send that light, which will probably cause diminishment or confusion. We're not wishing harm for anyone, but disperses the energy as we shift into the higher vibration on this planet of love and unity and peace and protection for all immigrants, protection for all peoples of color, protection for all peoples, all religions, bringing peace to the planet, peaceful countries, for wars ending, for respecting the planet, and help all billionaires to let go of their greed, to wake up and give back to their communities and other people. because they now understand that that is their true calling, not to amass gross amounts of wealth, which is abhorrent. Help them to wake up to the truth of who they are and who we are, and our world to be at peace and in unity. And so it is. Wow. I just kind of channeled that. I didn't know that was going to come through like that. But doesn't that feel better? Woo. Okay. Hey, I really appreciate everybody for coming on. And I hope to see you soon. Sending you so much love. Take good care of yourself. Come on to the members and get a healing. We're going to do a healing and for us personally. And I'll be back on probably Monday for political questions. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I love you. Take care. Bye for now.